Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is 11 a.m. on the 28th of November, and we have, as always, a packed show to get through. Today, we're going to go through the markets. We've had a little bit of a dip on Bitcoin. We're going to have a chat about that. Then we're going to go through the news from George from Cryptos R Us. He's bullish. Is he bullish? Is he reading bullish news? Is this one of these Inception articles where it's commentating on a commentator? We're going to look at the IMF, which is in a little bit of a panic regarding CBDCs and crypto. Goldman Sachs are, of course, always bullish on crypto. Then we're going to talk about what altcoins are going to unlock this week. I'm going to do some TA on Matic, as I've been asked by a viewer yesterday. We're going to look at Cathie Wood's ARK. What have they just sold and why? Then we're going to finish with XRPL, the XRP ledger. There were a few problems in allowing the XRP blockchain to host NFTs. That's now been resolved. What does that mean for XRP? What does that mean for the utility of XRP? We're going to go through that as well. And then, of course, we're going to finish, as always, with the quiz. Before we begin, a few shout-outs. Good morning, Kishan. Good morning, Salanki. Good morning, Hidden Agendas. We have a lot of people in various different chats today. Okay, KO, good morning. Let me know where you are. Remember, this is a two-way stream. I am more than happy to answer your questions as we go through the show. And if I just very quickly switch over to the platform, good morning, Dombra. Good morning to Hansel. Good morning to all of you. And I hope you're having a good morning, especially as I think the markets might pick up again this afternoon. Remember, I think we're a little bit nervous because of the Fed and Chairman Powell's talk towards the end of this week. I think we could be a little bit nervous. But if we do head over, we are down 1.5%. We're still at $1.4 trillion market cap. The volume, 50 billion, fairly reasonable for this time of the week. Bitcoin dominance has gone up a little bit more. It's at 51.7%. That would indicate to me that alts are starting to fall back. Obviously, Bitcoin retraced a little bit yesterday. Alts retraced more. Ethereum dominance is 17.3%. Long gone are the heady days of 20% Ethereum dominance that we saw only a few weeks ago. So if we have a little look down here, Bitcoin is just over 37,000. Ethereum is still holding that $2,000 range. That's really important to hold. Even after the retracement, I did say at $2,100, we do need to hold $2,100. It's a very significant price for Ethereum. And we didn't. It has come back again. Let's have a look at what has been winning and losing in the last 24 hours. Celestia has retraced a tad, but now it's starting to pick back up. FTX token, as I've said, don't touch that token. I'm going to say it every day. It's in the gainers or the losers. It's a token associated with a failed exchange. Why would you want to hold that token? It's sheer speculation. Oasis and Toncoin, not a lot, up. Terra Classic, The Graph, Gala, Blur, all down. Brogan made a video last night, and in that video, I think the price at the time was about 53 cents. He's predicted the price of Blur to fall to somewhere in the region of 38 cents. It's all bearish as far as Blur is concerned. Make sure to check out that video if you can. Conflux, Theta, Cosmos, all down a touch. But we're also going to go through the alt unlocks. Some of these coins that are down 4 or 5%, they're going to be down because the coins are unlocking this week. People are expecting more downward pressure. And one of the ones up there that isn't listed for some reason is Terra Classic. Terra Classic is down 42%. I said yesterday on the stream that it was a pump and dump. It went all the way up to about 6 or 7 cents. I think it's now back down at 4 cents. Anything to do with Terra Classic, whether it be LoonC, whether it be USTC, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I do like Luna. I will admit, I like Luna. I like the UI. I like Astroport. I like a lot of projects that are built on Luna, and I am fairly bullish on Luna as a whole, because don't forget, just because the project failed, it failed because there was an inherent problem with the way that Luna and USTC was working, or UST at the time was working. I'm still fairly bullish on Luna. I think in the next 4 or 5 years, that could really, really recover. So that's it from the markets. Let's move on now and have a look at the first article, which is to do with George from Cryptos R Us. Now, George, I will admit, I watch his streams, or I watch his videos quite a lot. George is always positive, and that I like that about him. He's always positive, but always backs up what he says with articles, with stats, with figures, and he has a different perspective than a lot of people on where Bitcoin is moving, where alts are moving. He looks at on-chain data a lot more, excuse me, than other people do. A lot of people look at crypto, look at the charts, and that's how they make their decisions. What George does is he will look at the project, he'll look at what's happening, who the main players are, and then he'll move on to look at the on-chain metrics of it. So he's got a different perspective. I would recommend checking out George Cryptos R Us. He's very good. So, analyst believes that Bitcoin is going to go parabolic soon. In a recent YouTube video, George, the crypto analyst behind Cryptos R Us, shared his bullish Bitcoin price predictions. And as you know, I love a good price prediction. I like to go through them and see where they think Bitcoin is going to go. So he believes that Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. There he is, George. He does these little walks in the snow at the minute, and he doesn't half look like a chilly bear at the moment. George cited an analyst from Standard Chartered Bank, which has over $500 billion in annual revenue. They predict $120,000 by 2024. Whew. Now, the supply shock from Bitcoin miners in April is going to make a difference. There's not a lot we can do to avoid being bullish on the halving and the ETFs. It's the level of bullishness we should be having when people come to crypto that we need to think about. We don't want to fill people with false hope. Remember, the all-time high of Bitcoin is normally 18 months after the halving. That puts it at November 2025. If these analysts are talking about $120,000 by the end of 2024, that is still 10, 11, 12 months before the all-time high. So where do they think the price of Bitcoin is going to be an additional 11 months on from this $120,000? So apparently it comes down to supply and demand. We know about this. We know about the Bitcoin ETFs. We talk about this all the time on the channel. There is a very good chance that Bitcoin is going to hit $40,000. I totally agree. So by the end of this year, I do fully expect us to have touched $40,000. I'm going to bring up the chart again, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on it today because we have the Bitcoin chart nearly every day. So I'm just going to go over what the two scenarios I have for Bitcoin. Other positive metrics George highlighted included a parabolic indicator flipping the green light before previous bull cycles. I don't know how anyone can be bearish. That's a great point to finish that article on. I do agree. I don't know how we can be bearish at this juncture. I don't see how we can be, because everything now points towards the ETF being within the next 5 weeks. So I am not going to harp on about this. All I'm going to do is go back over the same charts that we have highlighted. For the last month, it feels like an eternity. So my two scenarios, if I bring this a bit closer, there we go. My two scenarios for Bitcoin are: we will at some point maybe retest and break up. If we can break 38,800 and we can hit 40,000, which is this, we are only less than 8% away. I said this yesterday, we're 8% away from 40,000. One of two things is going to happen at 40,000. And that is, we're going to break it. And I know this sounds absolutely... I know what this sounds like. It sounds so obvious, but I'm just going to try and reiterate what we've got. Psychologically, $40,000, $40,000, $50,000, $30,000, $10,000 are all psychological barriers. They are all barriers that we have to break through. Thank you very much, Solo Sky, for those comments. Greatly appreciated. So $40,000, if we break $40,000, we should be looking towards the next level, which is at $44,000. Now, obviously, we're not going to go straight there. It's not going to be in a straight line. I'm just drawing this for illustration purposes. But to break 40,000, and the next level then is the next fib level at 44,000. So when the article talks about 40 to 45,000 by the end of the year, that would tie in with the psychological barrier of 40 and the fib level of 44,000. Now, that's one scenario, and that's where I think they're getting the 40 to 45,000 from. There is, however, a chance we get rejected. And if we get rejected, we could come down and finish the year somewhere between $38,000 and $39,000 and fall back from that level. So there's two things to think about. If we break 40,000 and if we break it and come down and test it as support, or we keep going 41, 42,000, then we've done it. But what tends to happen, you will notice here in this channel that we're in, we kind of break above the channel and then we don't hold it and we fall back down into this channel. And I think that's the same when you look at where we are compared to the bull market support band, which I'll bring up here. So if you look at the bull market support band, there is, let me turn this off. I can't see anything. There we go. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to find support and bounce. That's what you want. What you don't want to do is break down, come along and struggle to get back up. You want to bounce. So within this area that we are in, we want to get above 40,000, find support, and off we go. We don't want to do this because we're going to be worse off than we are if we use it as support. So for me, we have to break 40,000 and hold it to get to 45,000 by the end of the year. I'm still bullish that we're going to get to 40,000. I'm just not sure if we're going to hit it and break, or whether we're going to hit it and just come back into the range that we've been in. But either way, it doesn't really matter. In 5 or 6 weeks' time, we are going to be a lot more prepared for what's coming than we are now. Now we're going to move on to look at the IMF, and the IMF are going into a little bit of a panic. The IMF is, of course, the International Monetary Fund. They are the people that give loans to countries that are in trouble. They give aid. They are basically the World Bank. You've got the European Central Bank. Then you have the International Monetary Fund. They also analyze statistics on how well economies are doing. So they are in a panic because people are choosing crypto over CBDCs. CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. That is a digital form of money that they can control, they can monitor, they can issue, and it will get rid of the coins and the notes that are in your pockets. That's what a CBDC is. And before you worry too much, just remember 97% of all money in the world is already digital. Only 3% of money physically exists in your pockets. So we're almost there. We're almost there. Now they're worrying because CBDCs will run off ledgers. They will kind of use blockchain technology. We talked yesterday about XRP are going to be doing, I believe it's Bolivia, they're going to be doing a test trial for CBDCs in Bolivia. China already has its CBDC. America is talking about it. The UK is talking about it. Christine Lagarde in the European Union is talking about it. So we're going to move in that direction. I believe Nigeria has been testing a CBDC now for about 2 years. So it's coming. It's not it's not conspiracy theory. It's not anything which is kind of like hearsay. These things are going to happen. Now, South Koreans next year will have the opportunity to deposit tokens based on the CBDC through a pilot program operated by the Bank of Korea. 100,000 individuals will purchase goods with deposit tokens issued by commercial banks in the form of CBDCs, similar to using a voucher at stores. So far, 11 countries, with some in the Caribbean and including Nigeria, have launched CBDCs. More than 120 countries are exploring them. We may be at a point where the public sector needs to offer a little more guidance, not to crowd out, not to disrupt, but to act as a catalyst to ensure safety and efficiency and to counter fragmentation. The IMF also recently published its first instalment of a virtual handbook to help countries implement interoperable CBDCs. Interoperable means CBDCs that work with other CBDCs. For example, exchanging the euro CBDC for the dollar CBDC. That's what they're talking about. Countries that have tried to implement CBDCs have seen little adoption. If anything, we need to raise another sail to pick up speed. The world is changing faster than most imagined. The IMF is scared that failure to agree on a common platform for CBDCs could lead to a vacuum that would likely be filled by cryptocurrency. If cryptocurrencies, which are decentralized and not tied to any government or central authority, fill the vacuum left by a lack of CBDCs and become the preferred means of exchange for international trade, the entire global finance system could be revolutionized, which is kind of what we want. As we all know, cryptocurrencies. I found the very first transaction I ever made to buy anything in Ethereum. I bought 4 acid-etched stainless steel pictures of cryptocurrencies, which are found, and I will put up somewhere so you can see them. That was in 2016. So my first ever crypto transaction was nearly 8 years ago now, and it was seamless. I sent the guy Ethereum. He sent me the goods. So it's been working perfectly fine for the last 7 or 8 years. There's no reason for CBDCs other than to get rid of money, which then gets rid of fraud, and it's a good thing. CBDCs should be seen as a good thing, even though there are inherent risks to do with control attached to them. However, as far as the IMF is concerned, what they're interested in is control over the financial markets. That's what they want. They do not want decentralized money, Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin technically is a commodity, but let's, for argument's sake, Bitcoin as a way of transacting. It's uncensorable, it's decentralized, there is not one central controlling body, it has a finite supply, it has all the tenets to be a currency. However, the IMF wants to be able to control the markets. It wants to be able to maintain its control. The same way that America wants to keep the dollar as the world reserve currency, the same way as the central bank, European Central Bank wants to control its currency. This isn't about saving the markets. This is about control, and that's the most important thing to take away. CBDCs should be the future. Digital money. Everything else we do is digital. Music is digital. Shopping is digital. Books are digital. The last major hurdle now is for money to be wholly digital, and we're there. We're on the cusp of it. Now, moving on, because we don't want to run out of time. Institutional investors are bullish on crypto, says Goldman Sachs. Remember, only a few years ago, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, HSBC, very, very bearish on crypto, didn't like it, was trying to stop their clients from buying Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. And suddenly, because they've now built their products, built the systems out, they're now bullish on crypto. They were bullish on crypto all along. Do you think it takes 6 or 7 weeks to put together an ETF and all the infrastructure behind it? No, it takes years. these things take 2, 3, 4 years to put into place. So the banking system is going to be bearish on crypto until the point it is ready to try and seize control of it as much as they can. Obviously, they can't control it, but what they can do is they can position themselves to be able to take all the retail investment money, which is what they want. So this is to do with Raoul Pal, I believe. Does it mention him down here? Prominent investor Raoul Pal has substantiated using crucial data that 2024 is poised to be a favourable year for crypto, surpassing the prospects for tech stocks. This is where the growth of assets of NDX and crypto live. This is why they bottomed before everything else. Crypto will outperform tech stocks. I think it's very unfair to compare crypto to tech stocks. Tech stocks are more mature. If you look at Amazon, if you look at Apple, if you look at Tesla, if you look at Facebook tech stocks, they've been around a lot longer than crypto. They're more mature. There's more money in them. The market caps are higher. It's harder to move those assets. When you have something that only has a $1, $5 or $10 billion market cap, it's way easier to move that to 100 billion than it is to move a 500 billion market cap to a trillion. It's just a lot harder. However, in terms of backing the fastest horse, if you had $1,000 today, you'd probably be wiser putting it into crypto than you would in tech stocks. The same way it would be wiser to put it into crypto than putting it into gold, for example. Gold will move on average maybe 5% a year over a 20 or 30 year period. Crypto, as we have seen, is going to move a lot higher in the next 18 months, 2 years. So he predicts that within a year, the crypto market could experience significant growth. Using our GMI Financial Conditions Index, we can peer 11 months into the future, suggesting a strong year in 2024. This is where the growth assets of NDX and crypto live. This is why they bottomed. I've literally just read that out. He further points to the difference between the spot price of Bitcoin and the futures contract. BTC next month contract has only traded on wider premiums versus its front month contract on 3 occasions since its launch. And this is all to do with the halving or to do with the ETFs. According to one analyst model, traders should purchase Bitcoin 6 months before the halving and sell 18 months after. So if you move and say that Bitcoin's halving is going to be the 1st of May next year, you should be buying Bitcoin on the 1st of December this year. Then, as I was saying before, you sell 18 months after. So you add 18 months onto April, May next year, and you get the end of 2025. I'm saying November 2025 because that's when I'm going to start DCAing out of crypto. So have a plan, stick to the plan. Now let's move on to the altcoins and which altcoins are going to unlock. I'm trying to stay somewhat on schedule today, so we have some time to go through a quiz. We've not really had too much time the last week and a half to go through the quiz because we've had so many charts. But today, the only chart I'm going to look at today is the Matic chart, which I'm going to look at in about 5 minutes. In fact, before we go any further, I am just going to drop the boxes. So give me 1 minute and I will drop the boxes and then we will carry on. Remember, if you are not watching on an exchange, you will not receive any of these boxes. And if you go below into the details, you're going to find the links to the exchanges that we are streaming on. I'm not going to mention names because I'm not allowed, but you will find all of the details there. Yossa, welcome. Welcome. As I said, I am going to be dropping the red envelope now. I said between 20 past and half past. So if you give me 1 minute, I'm just going to drop that now. Perfect, it worked. Okay, so everybody should now have a red envelope to claim. All you have to do is click on it and accept it with our best wishes. Remember, while we take this little pause, the best way you can help us out is to smash the like button and follow us. The last few days, the traffic that we've had has been a lot lower than normal, and I'm not quite sure why. So you can help us by following us, you can help us by smashing the like button. They're the best ways to help us. You are welcome, Ybasa. Thank you for coming to the stream. As I said yesterday, when I recognize people's names, I formulate a personality of each person who watches. So whether it be Solo Sky, whether it be Kishan, whether it be Tariq, whether it be Ybasa, whether it be Dombra, whether it be the name I can never pronounce, the VRY Vioa. Yeah, I mean, I kind of have an idea of what kind of people watch the stream. I mean, there's loads of others. There's Adil. There's, I'm trying to think, Marlene, for example. There's lots of people that I've kind of got an idea of what they're like. So anyway, accept those, that free crypto with my best wishes. And remember, if you're watching and you are not on one of the platforms where I give away free crypto, the links are underneath to come and join. So make sure to take advantage of that and come and give us a follow. Now we're going to move on. So the altcoin rally cools as massive $650 million worth of tokens unlocks. Now we mention this every time it comes up, which is normally once a month, and it highlights the coins which have token unlocks this week. Why is this important? Because when we looked at the charts before and we did the 24-hour losers, for example, what you're going to find is some of these coins in here are going to be the coins that are going to unlock this week. And if they're not, like Sui, for example, Axie Infinity, potentially these are going to be in the list we're going to look at now. So let's have a quick look. So DYDX, OP, Sui dropped sharply ahead of their token unlocks, underperforming the broader CoinDesk market index. So let's go down. So many adverts these days. Several major alternative cryptocurrencies, including DYDX, OP, and Sui, dropped on Monday as massive token unlocks weighed on prices amid a general negative day on the broader crypto market. DYDX will see $480 million worth of tokens added to its supply, doubling the current amount of tokens on the market. That's massive. OP, Sui, IMX, 1inch, and Hedera have also large unlocks. So if we go back here, you will see that some of them are in here. So Sui is down 4.7%. Mutable X is down 4%. What else was mentioned? Was it Injective also mentioned as well? So this is very much like if you used to be, or if you are in the stock market, you will notice that the declaration day for dividends, the day after, you will tend to find that stock price will fall. That's because people want to hold the token on the day that the dividend is issued and then sell it the day after. It's called dividend trading or dividend yield farming, whatever you want to call it. Crypto is similar. You want to sell the token before the dip. So you're going to know that, for example, Sui, you're going to know that there's going to be a release of tokens this week. You will have sold Sui last week, or maybe even on Sunday. You will then have preempted this 4.7% dip, and then potentially you will want to buy back in at a price of maybe 50, 55 cents, whatever it might be, if you're a believer in Sui. So it's always a good thing to keep an eye on these unlocks, because it does affect the supply, and that also affects the amount of inflation on the tokens in your pocket. So here's the full breakdown: DYDX, Immutable X, Optimism, SUI, 1inch, XLR, and Hedera. There we go. And this is the percentage of the total supply. So as you can see, SUI, it's only 0.7%. On the 3rd, which I believe will be, what day is the 3rd? Sunday. So Sunday this week, that release will happen for SUI, and that's probably the furthest away. You've got some that are happening on the 30th, which I think is Thursday, then you've got Friday, and then you've got Sunday. So token unlocks translate to an increase in the asset supply, releasing coins from a vesting period, including early investors. The early investors, they're the people that sell. They're the people that dump on you. So they will take those tokens and just sell them on the first day. Again, if you're going to get into the in-depth side of that, look at whose tokens are being unlocked. Are they the team's tokens? Are they early investors? Are they something else? XRP, I believe, is it somewhere like 100 million tokens a month are released on the XRP blockchain, but then something like 90 million are automatically restaked, something like that. So bear that in mind when you are buying tokens. We don't need to go into more details on that, as it is now 11:30, and we've still got a couple of articles to go before we get to the quiz. So let's crack on with this. So Cathie Wood, big fan of Cathie Wood. They are selling their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust holdings as the discount narrows. Now, what's a discount and what's a premium? Very simply, if you have a trust that has $100 million worth of assets in it, if that token price gives it a valuation of 120 million, that would give it a 20% premium, which means it's 20% more expensive than the underlying asset. If that token gives it a valuation of 80 million, then it gives it a discount of 20%. So what's been happening with Grayscale Trust is they've had $10 billion worth of Bitcoin, but it's been trading as if it had $8 billion. So even if the price of Bitcoin doesn't waver too much, the premium and the discount can move around all over the place. You could end up making a 15% profit on just buying and selling the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, because the premium is increasing, or the discount is narrowing. So she has sold her Bitcoin Trust. Now remember, at one point this discount was something in the region of 30 to 40%. Recently it's dropped to, I believe, less than 10%. So Cathie Wood has not only got the increase in the price of Bitcoin, she's also got the decrease in the discount. So she will have made a 2x what you have made just by holding your Bitcoin. That's how well she has done out of it. And what Cathie Wood tends to do is she takes profits. She takes profits on Coinbase, she takes profits on Tesla, she takes profit on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. She's not taken too many profits on MicroStrategy, but that's because it's pretty much a proxy Bitcoin ETF anyway. So just like bear that in mind, that when you see this isn't an indication that she's lost faith in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. She's taking profits. What we say to you all the time is, if you bought XRP at 10 cents and XRP goes to $1 because the court case is finally over, the initial fine has been paid, and it goes from 60 cents to $1, and you bought at 10 or 20 cents, take some profits, take 10 or 20% off the table, because then you will be able to have some cash on the side. So if the price retraces to 80 or 70 cents, you can buy back in, and you end up getting 25 to 50% more tokens than you would have had you held. So Cathie Wood is very good at taking profits and buying back in at lower prices. So take a leaf out of her book, And if you make massive gains on some of these altcoins that have pumped 500%, don't forget to take profits, because you can then use that profit to buy into another coin, or you can use that profit to buy into the same coin when it's retraced 40, 50, 60%. That's the key takeaway from this. Don't just look at this and think, oh my God, she's getting out of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, it must be going to zero. She's doing it to take profits. She's in the business of making her company, ARK Invest, money. And that involves buying low and selling high. Now, we're doing really well for time. Or we would be if that article came up, which was to do with there was an article about XRP. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to go and find it. 1 minute. Okay, we are back. Right, I have found a similar article. I don't know, maybe the article had been taken down in the time between me finding it this morning and going live. It does happen from time to time. So the XRP ledger has had an NFT upgrade, and that's now gone live on the mainnet. Now, there's a couple of things to do with XRP that you might want to know about, because again, it's bullish news for XRP and it's bullish news for the coins in your pockets. The two bits of bullish news in the future are going to be the NFTs, which of course we have now, and we're about to talk about it. The second one is that XRP at some point is going to launch a staking service. You will be able to stake your XRP natively on the XRP blockchain. That isn't out yet, but it will come out, and when it does, you will be able to generate a yield on your XRP. So that's something to bear in mind when you're making your decisions. Which coins can you generate staking yields on? Obviously, Ethereum you can get it from Cardano, you can get it from Solana. You don't get anything from XRP, and you don't get anything from Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is proof of work, so that yield goes to the miners. But what about XRP? XRP doesn't have anything really, doesn't have any proof of stake rewards. Obviously it's not mined, so they're going to be building out their products in the future, as well as building out their institutional side. You know, we spoke about HSBC yesterday. What are they going to do for people that want to hold XRP long term? The two things are NFTs and staking, so bear that in mind. So in exciting news for the XRP community, the much anticipated Fix NFT token remint upgrade has been successfully deployed on the Ledger mainnet. This update, confirmed by XRP Scan, was overwhelmingly approved by the community with an 85.7% consensus, reflecting a substantial step forward for the ecosystem. This is the key here. Why? Cardano has a Cardano ecosystem. Solana has an ecosystem. Ethereum has an ecosystem. Bitcoin, not so much, other than maybe ordinals and a few people looking to build layer 2s. XRP needs activity. Activity comes from having a community and comes from having transactions. It comes from having added utility than just holding the token, and that comes in the forms of NFTs and staking, in my opinion, because once you have staking, once you have NFTs, you can then start to build out the next layer, which is things like DeFi. You can maybe have synthetic Bitcoin, synthetic Ethereum on the XRP ledger. All of those things can be added. They already exist on Solana, they already exist on Cardano. Why can't they do it on XRP? So one of the primary objectives of this fix is to alter the construction of NFT sequence numbers. By doing so, the amendment aims to prevent the repetitive minting of NFTs with the same sequence numbers, thereby mitigating the risk of collision scenarios. Very exciting. The amendment introduces an additional layer of security through a new account deletion restriction feature. This feature imposes limitations on account deletions, enhancing control and fortifying the overall security of the ledger. From a technical perspective, it achieves its objectives through a novel approach to NFT sequence numbers. We don't need to read about that. I'm not going to bore you to death with this. Other notable amendments on the list include the potential inclusion of automated market maker AMM, clawback XRP fees, and 53 others. This is bullish news. Okay, let's go and have a quick look at the XRP chart, because one thing I said yesterday, and I'm going to stand by this, XRP and the price action of XRP is not reflecting what is going on with the blockchain. Okay, the price action, if you look, okay, let's bring up this one. This is what we're looking at. So if you look at the price of XRP, we've come down from the highs of 70 cents, whatever it was. But if you look, let's take that off again. I can't see anything with this on. There we go. So XRP, as I've drawn yesterday, it broke above the bull market support band. It's come down, it's retested, but it's come down again, and we're at the bottom of this range. Now, if we break down, we could come down to 55 cents. That would not be good. This is not a good area. However, it's a great area for you to accumulate. If we're going to talk about a $3 to $5 XRP, then the cheaper the XRP, the more you're going to make out of it. So from my point of view, this is what you want to be looking at, an accumulation range. And an accumulation range for me, in all honesty, is an XRP at 50, 55 or 60 cents, because we're going to have NFTs, we're going to have money maker protocols, we're going to have staking in the future. So there's no negative news about XRP, and yet we're doing this. It doesn't make any sense. We are still above the long-term support band, which we know. We've mentioned it for 100 times on this channel. If you look at the price of XRP since the start of the year, what have we done is we have honored this trend line, and that trend line has been going up since January. We could even say January the 1st, and we've gone up and we've gone up. We obviously had two slightly higher wick-ups than normal. One, of course, here was to do with winning the case against the SEC. We've honoured this line, so we are moving up. But are we going to do this and come down towards 55 cents? I hope so, because at 55 cents, I'm going to load another bag of XRP, because for me, it is criminally undervalued, and I do think it's PTSD to do with the SEC case. You have to remember, the SEC case has been going on for 2.5 years now. It feels like it has suppressed the price of XRP, but XRP this year, irrespective, has been doing this beautiful bounce, and it's been following higher lows all year. Okay, at some point it is going to go. At some point it's going to go up, and we're going to retest 95 cents a dollar. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Now, before we get on to the quiz, which is coming up right now, we've managed to finish on time, which is great news. What we're going to do is I'm going to put you on pause for a minute while I turn some of the streams off because we don't do the quiz in all places. So if you give me 60 seconds, I will come back and we will have a crack at doing a slightly longer quiz today.